Hi everybody, and I just wanted to give you a little video walkthrough of the course, so you know, make sure that everybody knows where to find everything, what's due and when, and I have lots and lots of stuff posted on here for you in Moodle and a couple other places, so I just want to make sure everybody knows where everything is. First of all, here is the announcements, and check this every week, or make sure you check your email every week. I post reminders and updates and that kind of thing, so just to make sure you've got that. I've got some orientation material posted here for you, which is a lot of what I'm going through here, but some of this you might want to refer back to. Let's go to the schedule here first, and these are some things that you probably want to download and keep handy, or at least refer to. Most of the questions that I get are ones that are answered through here, so please take some time to take a look at these. Here's our schedule. It's a 10-week session, so it's a little bit shorter than usual. And here's a checklist of what's due each week. Your due dates are all on Sundays. So we're doing a chapter or two per week. And then you can see each week you'll have a discussion and a quiz or two. Some weeks you have 2 quizzes, some you just have 1. The project is a comprehensive project that's due in week 9. Your midterm is in week 5 here, and your final exam is in week 10. So everything is due dates, everything is posted, and you can work ahead. As I said in the orientation material, you cannot get behind, especially in a 10-week class. We just can't get behind. So these the discussions are less discussions and more mini assignments. And they're not bad, but sometimes it's go out and find examples of this, or visit a website, or watch a video, and then come back and talk about it. So the second thing I'd like you to see is the syllabus. And so I'm just going to kind of go through here briefly. There is a lot in here. Sometimes I think people tend to not read the syllabus, but there's some very handy information in here. So I'm just going to use this to try to highlight some things that I might go through. There's my information, and email is probably the best way to get a hold of me during the summer. I don't have regular office hours in the summer, but you can always contact me, and we can set up a time if you need to talk to me. But I do check email very regularly. The textbook I'm putting here, we'll talk about the textbook in a second, but you do need some form of the textbook, and you've got several different options that I'll talk about when we go back to the course here. Here's what we're going to learn this semester. Requirements, you're going to need to be online a lot, so if you don't have a reliable internet connection at home, make sure the LSC on campus is open 7 days a week, or the library, or other things like that. Here's how your grade is going to be. 20% of your grade is going to be quizzes. There's 10 quizzes. There's 10 discussions. That's going to be 20%. The midterm, the final, and the project are each 20%. The quizzes will be multiple choice. You'll do them in Moodle at home. There's no time limit, and since you're at home, they're open book and open notes. There's a total of 10 quizzes, and I dropped the lowest quiz grade. Discussions are going to be very similar. Those are done in Moodle. 10 discussions, and I dropped the lowest one of those. Exams, there's a midterm and a final. Those have to be taken on campus. Must be completed on campus at the testing center. You'll have 2 hours. Each exam will be there for at least a week, so you can go in anytime during that week that the testing center is open. And then the project is due in week 9. I have more detail, a whole document on just the project posted in Moodle. Course policies, just to know how much time you're going to spend. Even though it's a 10-week, you still spend the same amount of time on it. Attendance for an online class is regular, participation in the class. We're not going to do any makeups on discussions or quizzes. If you miss an exam, I may allow you to make that up, but you have to contact me ahead of time, and it's really only during extreme circumstances. It's not like, I got really busy this week, and believe it or not, I've had that, but we're all busy, and so we all have to work, and like I said, they're there for at least a week, so if you wait until Sunday and something comes up, you kind of missed your chance there. So let's see, here's the topics that we're covering, and we have 15 chapters that we're going to cover in the 10 weeks, which is why we have 1 or 2 per week. This course manual is posted here, and this has a lot of information. It's a whole book. You can see there's 9 different pages here on it, and a lot of this is in the syllabus, but we have course policies, we have grading, how your grade works. I have something about what I look at for written work, so this would apply here to your discussions and to your project, kind of how I grade those. Let's see what else we have in here. What else do I have? Course policies. Most of this is right here from the syllabus that we just looked at. Technological requirements. I'm not going to read all of this to you. I just want to make sure you see what's here, and I do want you to go through and read these. A lot of times when people are having technical problems, they forget to, but I've got lots of things here posted to make sure you have everything updated. How to get help. If it's a Moodle question, you need to contact the distance learning group. I think I really want the LT help desk, not the IT help desk. I'll update that. The LSC is there. I'm always available. Here's how to contact me if you need me. And please use your HCC email account this semester. That is the only way I have to contact you. So if you're using some other account, I can't get messages to you. And when I send messages out through Moodle, they go to your HCC account. So make sure you're using that. Let's go through the frequently asked questions here, because this is always important. I don't have extra credit, but I do drop the lowest quiz grade and the lowest discussion grade. So that's kind of your built-in grade booster right there. And if you miss something, you're covered. It won't, as long as you only miss one, you're okay. Grading, the quizzes are graded automatically. The discussions, they're due on Sunday, and so I'll generally get to those early in the week to get those grades posted. The project that you do at the end does take me a good week or so to get those graded. We're not making up work. If it's something with an exam, talk to me, but don't just skip it and assume I'm going to let you make it up later. Let's say that. There's no group work, and the best way to contact me is email. So that's our, and again, there's some other things in there. So take some time to read that. Here's some how to contact me and other things on campus that you might need. Now, let's talk about the textbook for a second. I have a link here. I have instructions. So if you bought an access code at the bookstore, this is where you go to redeem that access code. And I have the course set up, and you would put in, this is the book. There's a couple, so if you bought that all access pass at the bookstore, you just go right here to where it says, I have an access code, and you put it in, and then you're getting this option right here. You can purchase other options. You can purchase the study pass, which is just the online book, which you can read online for $24. And then I found something here. So this is just a little PowerPoint on how to redeem that code and how to purchase your textbook. Once you've purchased it, this is a link to the online book. Let me just show you that one real quick. So this is the online book. Once you're already purchased it and signed in, you'll have to create a sign in if you've never used Flat World before. We are using that for econ and most of the management classes and the biz class, so you may have seen this before. Now mine will look a little bit different there because I've got some other things, but you've got in here for each of the chapters, you've got the book, which you can kind of scroll through like this. You can go to resources. There are study aids, which are quizzes, which are little quizzes here. This one has 19 questions for this chapter. I do recommend those, especially if you need a little extra practice with multiple choice. These are very handy after you've read the chapter, just to kind of check yourself. There are some flashcards on here if you like that kind of thing, just mostly for vocabulary type thing. And then you can download the book in a printable PDF, in e-textbook for like an iPad or something like that, and then they have this other format here for Kindle. So you can download the book so you can read it in another thing if you're not online. I think if you purchase that the $24 one, you can't download it. You have to be online to read it. But if you're usually someplace where you have Wi-Fi, that probably doesn't matter. However, let me go back to this other thing. I found this link to a free copy of the textbook. Now, if you don't want to spend the $25 or the $45, you can use this, and I'll just give you a couple. I found this off of the University of Minnesota, I think's website. It looks a little bit different, but the table of contents are all the same, and you can read it here. It has EPUB, PDF, Mobi, which I think is for Kindle Fire, and I don't even know what those are. But you can read the book here, and you can download it. So if we, let me go back here. Oops, that is not what I meant to do. So if we download, for instance, this PDF one, which I actually have one here I downloaded the other day, it looks like I'm still reading it online, but I think you could download that yourself. You could even print it if you wanted it, although it's fairly big, or you could print it a chapter at a time if you need, if you know you're not going to be around and you need to just download one chapter or something like that. I just found this week, and so I'm putting this out here. I'm pretty sure it's legal because it's the University of Minnesota and it's this open resource type of a thing. It looks slightly different. It looks to me, and again, I haven't gone through every page of it yet. It looks to me like some of the pictures have changed, but the text of the book seems to be, so far it seems to be exactly the same. So you can feel free to use that. If you haven't bought the book yet. Now this, I'll tell you two things about it. You don't get the multiple choice quizzes and the flashcards. And I'm not, I don't know how useful the flashcards are, but the multiple choice quizzes are very handy since you have a lot of quizzes and and your exams are multiple choice. But the other thing I will tell you is that when you download this into a PDF, which is what I haven't tried the EPUB one yet under my Kindle, but it's just one long document. So it's it doesn't have like a clickable table of contents where you could just skip to chapter 10. So when you get to chapter 10, I think you got to scroll the whole way down. You can bookmark it, so I guess you could bookmark it where you left off and go to that, so you don't have to scroll. So it's a little less maneuverable, and like I said, you don't have the quizzes. So I'm going to leave it up to you which one you want. See, it opens it in another browser, not like a download, but I guess maybe it is. But you can see here, it does not appear to be a searchable PDF where you could search for certain terms or something like that, which sometimes people find very handy, especially when they're taking a quiz and they want to look up a vocabulary word. In the ebook, you can just search it. Then this doesn't really have that. But it does appear to be, I noticed they took out, where did I want to show you? So this is adapted from the book, which I think that explains the changes in the pictures and that kind of stuff. But they took out the author's name, which I thought was kind of funny. Look, unnamed author is a professor of marketing, which I thought was kind of funny. But other than that, the text looks pretty much the same. These types of things are the same, but when they have pictures of like businesses and stuff, these are a little bit different. But I don't think that really matters. But all the definitions and that are the same. So you can feel free to try this one out, and I think you should be fine with that one. And then this is a document of the project. I'm going to come back and talk about that later because I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information. And then the last thing I want to show you is what you'll see kind of each week, all right? So each week we'll have a little orientation here. This will show you what you're going to learn, so these are the learning outcomes for that week. You'll have what's due this week, and you've got little check marks here, so you can check off what you did. Some of them, like when you take a quiz, it checks off automatically. Some of them you have to go back and check it off. Here's something for you to read. Read the syllabus. Read the chapter in the textbook. And so this will link you right over to that chapter of the book as long as but if you're not using that one, it just goes to one page and you can't keep going if you haven't. Actually, you get the first 3 chapters for free, so you can read that. It knows me, it remembers me, so it's logging me on. Otherwise, it might ask you to log in. But if you've bought the book and you're using that one, this will link you straight to that chapter. And then for each week, I have a video here of basically what I would have done in class. I tried to keep them around a half an hour each. I know that's a little bit long, but it is a summary of the chapter, and I try to focus on the important things. And this will be the PowerPoint that either goes with that. You can see in some of these here, I have two PowerPoints. This first one where it just says that will be the PowerPoint from the book. This one will be either from what I did in class or from this actual video that I made, so it'll match up with this one a little bit, and sometimes I alter that. But here you can see in week 2, read the chapter, do the online assignment, take the quiz. And so that's going to be, and then I'll have resources posted for you each week. Sometimes I have some extra things here. This week we have 2 chapters. So I've got some extra videos. These are just kind of optional, but they're really interesting. So if you have time, I recommend posting those. But for each week, whatever's due, we'll have the little check mark, and it'll be under the what's due this week. So in this week, you have 2 chapters to read, 1 assignment, and 2 quizzes. So it varies a little bit each week. The quizzes are generally around 10 questions, give or take a few. They're not all exactly the same. And then here in week 5, here we have chapters 6 and 7, and then here's the midterm. I have some tools to help you prepare, the testing center information, so you know their hours and all that good stuff there. So that's pretty much the format that you have each week, and I think that's about it. If I get questions on stuff, I will post the answers in here. I'll post emails. But again, take a look at this information that I have posted up here in the course manual, the syllabus. Read those, because that really is going to answer a lot of your questions. And sometimes about halfway through, I think people need a refresher on some of those because they've missed that. But everything is posted here for you. And just let me know if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to a great semester.